The Diesel Performance podcast contains explicit language.
Thank you for joining us again. This is Paul Wilson.
And this is Chris Ehmke.
You're listening to the Diesel Performance podcast. What a blast we have had this week, huh?
Yeah, you're telling me, man. So you did a podcast last week by yourself, which was awesome, by the way.
Thanks.
And you made a couple little announcements, I guess you would say, that our Stealth line of turbochargers over at Duramax Tuner has dropped, and calibrated power for the Cummins guys. Phones ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
Inquiries, did you change anything on the turbochargers? Dealers, like, hey, stocking, I can get additional points off, which means all of our listeners, there might be a dealer in your area soon or now stocking our turbochargers for easier accessibility.
Yeah. LB7 all the way through LML. So
LML.
01 to 16 Duramax, 03 up to 2012 on the Cummins side. The 5.9.
Dude,
low price leader in the market.
Man, you know, going back 4 years ago when Nick and I did that turbocharger, and it was a badass little turbo.
He charged you more for that turbo when you bought it from him than what he's selling it for today.
Well, a little backstory. Nick wanted nothing to do with those turbos. I went to the company we were doing manufacturing with at the time. I was like, this is what I want. So I paid for it, put it on my own truck, got a decent deal, whatever. And then me and Nick are sitting on the truck at the dyno, and he's like going up, tuning the truck. He's like, what do you have the tune set at? And I tell him, 650, turn it up, 690, turn it up, 710, ended up at like 725 horsepower, 1,500 foot-pounds. And right after that, like, that was the big splash that he needed to start moving forward, and we've had a Stealth 5.9 ever since.
Yeah.
So, home run.
Absolutely. So map pricing has come down, so the previous retail pricing number has come down. Also, like we said, dealers of ours now have a great opportunity and a big incentive to stock turbos. If you're one of our dealers, you're listening to the show, you want to get involved in that, of course, get a hold of us. We'd be happy to help. One of the other cool things this week that's happened is I got a message from one of our buddies, Zach Mohan.
Yeah, his name comes up on the caller ID quite frequently at the shop, so shout out to you, Zach.
Every fucking day you call us Zach, like 100 times.
Maybe
like
every
100
other.
times.
Maybe every other.
I'm just playing. We love Zach. We do know him real well over at the shop. He's worked with Danny Voss for a real long time, and we've all had the pleasure of helping him out. He sent us a message this week. He said, Paul and Chris, I'm looking at purchasing this pulling truck, a 2005 LLY. Guy wants $25,000, fully built 2.5 truck. I'm going to take a look at it in the next few weeks. Should I try to get a hold of a V2 and hook it up to test the injectors? The guy told me it was HP Tuner single tune, and if it all goes right, I'm looking to take it to Longhorn Fab Shop and get a smoke and lope tune.
The last part was a joke.
Just
right?
playing. He wrote that because he's a funny guy. But he's like, no, just playing. He's like, I'll bring it up here to get
shout out to Manfred on that one.
Manfred,
damn.
Manfred's my boy.
Can he do HP Tuner Suite single tune smoke lopes then? Is that what you're saying?
Manfred could do any smoke lope tune.
Any smoke lope guy out there, HP Tuner support, contact Manfred.
There's nothing that could stop him.
So what would you tell this guy?
Okay, number one, going to look at a fully built truck, right? So fully built motor, it's already set up for 2.5. Your job is to look at everything. Unfortunately, it's not like a simple one like, stock trucks look for blown head gaskets and check balance rates. Like, you're now buying something that somebody else has touched everything. Now, this could be a great deal because it's $25,000 just to build a motor. So if you can get a truck with the weight box and all the mods and hoops and loops and everything for $25,000, I understand why that's appealing.
I mean, the first thing I would ask, this guy, Zach, a little bit of info here. How many years has this truck been together? Is this a built motor that's had 5 seasons? Because now you're going to be putting another 25 into it.
Right.
Realistically, especially injectors and the whole 9 yards there.
How did it perform? Right?
Like, was it better the first year and has it gone downhill over the last few years?
These are the things I'm saying.
Yep.
You're talking about doing a compression test. It's a fully built motor.
You can't just do that. You can't just do that when you go look at it.
Right.
That's very expensive.
Right, exactly. So there's a lot of things. You're going to need to get this truck in a shop on a lift for a day to do diagnostics with it. Yeah. Bringing the V2 out to test the injectors, you're pretty much going to be able to test balance rates.
And honestly, guys, I hate to tell you, everyone that thinks, balance rates were this, that's not the end-all, be-all.
Exactly.
Real world, balance rates don't mean shit.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry.
They're a good indicator. They're a good indicator.
I mean, how many LB7s have you got? How many LB7s have you had come into the shop, perfect balance rates, fuel in the crankcase?
Yeah, no.
Or
totally
an LBZ, balance rates were awesome, high return rates.
How many times, though, have you had 6, 7, 15 on all of your balance rates and then had good injectors.
I've seen it.
Maybe.
Dude, you had to you had to stop in your tracks, right?
Maybe.
I get it, but
yeah.
It's a good indicator,
yeah.
right? But it's not the end all be all.
Right.
I'd be more concerned with dropping the oil and seeing if there's any contaminants in the oil. Like, there's a reason this guy's getting out of it. He's realized that sled pulling is extremely expensive, and it's not a one and done. You don't build a motor one year and you have a lifetime sled pull truck. Usually 2 years down the road, the motor's got to be overhauled.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. Any competition truck, I would say over that like 800 or 900 horsepower mark, plan on tearing it down to the block every 2 years.
Yeah,
that's just a good, healthy maintenance.
Rule of thumb.
A lot of guys out there don't do that, and that's totally fine too.
I mean, we've had guys 5, 6 years. I had a guy the other day call in. He's like, "Yeah, you guys did a build for me back in 2010.
Yeah.
How much power? Oh, about 850 horse.
That was like the most we had ever done at that
Drive
time.
it every day. Drive it every day." I'm like, "Dude, hey, props to you. You must not beat on it." "Wait, what? I beat the shit out of this thing." I'm like, "All right, never mind. Hey, you know what? I'm just going to keep putting my foot in my mouth over here, so I'm sorry. I did not mean to offend you."
For Zach, yeah, Zach, I'll send you over a private Facebook message. But yeah, pretty much like I said, you're going to need to go through everything on this. Everything needs to be looked at. Everything needs to be inspected. Everything needs to be tested. It's a pretty intense like walk around. I certainly, because we work here, Chris, I think you or I would be like a little bit less risk to buy a truck like that, right?
I mean,
to where like,
because of where I work, I wouldn't even look at it.
Right, but that's the thing. It's like we have less risk to do this,
Right.
but we also have more experience with this going wrong, which is why we probably wouldn't, right? Like, it's cheaper for us to fix a truck than your average guy in the street.
Yeah,
That's one of the perks of doing what we do.
I agree.
But yes, we've also seen this go on so many times with so many different customers. At a certain point, you're like, not my money.
And that's a really good point to bring up. Our sponsors, right? When we talk about doing these builds, because we spec out these builds
Daily.
Fuel system, okay, 2.5, 2.6, 3.0, even work stock.
Exergy 14 mil pump.
Dude, they have a badass pump now.
Just drop.
Mic drop. 14 mil pump, done.
Yes.
Find a pump on the market that's going to outflow or support the type of power level that a 14 mil Exergy pump, street or strip pump, are going to offer.
We've literally been talking about this pump for weeks now. I just got off the phone with Randy from Exergy before I came down here, and I was telling him, I was like, it's crazy, like, how awesome this pump ends up being.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the fact that it has higher capacity or that nobody's actually found the peak limit of a single 14 mil pump yet, but it's also the fact that it's drop-in ready. You're not doing a big conversion kit or something like that to put one of these on. Just pull it out and put it in.
We had Ira from Fish Tuning this last week, and we were talking about dual fueler controllers, and he builds a controller, and he was like, but it's so simplistic to do a single pump.
The best. He builds the best dual fueler controller on the market.
And switches, mic drop.
Boom.
But like when I did my 07 truck, a 12 mil pump made the perfect sense, and everyone bashed me. Why didn't you do dual fueler? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Well, 5 years ago, it was a little different than it is now, but Exergy just offered us a product to the general public, 1,000 horse plus capable single pump drop-in.
Well, that used to be the braking limit. So I used to tell guys all the time, if you're going to build your truck to 750 horse, do a 10 mil.
Right.
If you're going to go to 800 horse, or if you sled pull and you have to have a single, run a 12. Everybody else should be doing dual fuelers because it's comparable in the cost, right? It's not like a huge jump.
Right.
Now, you don't have to worry about spending X amount of dollars to put a 10 mil in today, and then you're going to have to go buy a dual fueler kit later.
Right.
Right now, you put a 14 mil in, you run it at 700 horsepower, and as you grow, you have one pump for the rest of your build.
Yeah, the rest of your life.
Until you go over 1,200 or 14, whatever that horsepower number is, until you find that limit, you don't ever have to swap out or do anything with the pump.
And then let's say that 1,000 horse build turns into a 2,000 horse build. Now you're talking about a stock pump on top of the 14 millimeter pump, and you have 1,900 horsepower to play
Easy,
with.
right.
So,
easy money.
Again, another mic drop.
I love it.
Who's next?
I love it. WC Fab, another great sponsor of the show.
They know about 14 millimeter pumps.
True story.
They do.
True story. Jason's been a longtime friend of Duramax Tuner, Nick, and all of us here. I've had the pleasure of working with Jason since I started, and it's always a blast to go over there and see all the cool projects and all the cool shit they have going on and the triples. Like, Wherli, I hear WC Fab or I hear Jason Wherli, I'm like, oh yeah, triple turbos.
What I love about dealing with Jason, we have the luxury of him only being a half hour from us, is you come to our shop, it's a very badass shop, a lot of cool builds, and you go there and it's a complete 180. Oh, we do compounds, they do triples, okay?
Right.
We generally do twin kits in gloss white or gloss black. They have the most erratic colors possible. Like, Jason's got a really good thing going on over there. Jason, a really stand-up guy. He'd give you the shirt off his back. Like, just all in all, good friend, good business.
Well, you know, they put it into their products, right? They put that tenacity, that work ethic, that that business relationship into their products. Jason have gotten
along so well,
right? You know? Well, yeah, for so long, right? So the LML air intake bundle is what we've been talking about now for about 12 weeks.
Yeah, 12 weeks. Who's counting, though?
Right, I don't even know. The cool thing, what we keep talking about with this LML air intake bundle is like, it's a full package. Right. It's a one-time shot, and like we're really big into that. You and I both, right? To where like if I could just go get the whole package and be done with it, that's what I want, because I want to work on my truck one weekend and then I want to drive it the rest of the fucking time.
Right.
So that's what I like about this is, we've talked about how it helps quicken the spool up. We've talked about how it helps reduce EGTs. We've talked about how it helps support higher peak power. We've talked about how it has high quality silicone boots. But the other cool thing is, it's a one and done option. Like you don't have to mix and match. Who am I going to get an intercooler pipe from? Who am I going to get this from? What happens if that goes wrong? You get it all at one time. You install it all at one time, and then you just move the fuck on.
Yeah.
And that's why we've continued to bring back. We will continue to bring back Jason Wherli and WC Fab, along with Exergy as sponsors of this show, because we endorse what they do.
And our sponsors are growing, right? I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We like to work with shops that offer the same type of support. They like to quality information, data-driven, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our guest today. Some guys, you might deal with us directly. You might deal with some of the bigger mail orders that we work with. Wade from Thoroughbred Diesel, the face of Wade's World.
Yes.
Wade's World.
Wade's World.
Come on, man. So, Wade, how are you today?
Good, boys. Good. How y'all doing?
We're doing great, man. Dreaming about Jaeger bombs.
Excited to talk to you.
That's exactly right. I listened to you all banter back and forth. I was like, oh, shit, these guys are going to pick me apart, man. I don't think I'm going to get a word in. You all talk so daggone fast. It's going to be hard for me. Just be easy on me, boys. Be easy.
Bullshit.
I think the same way about you.
Bullshit. That's what I was just going to say. Don't play this fucking poor me game.
It's a good strategy to get into.
I like it. I like it. Wade, I have been watching. Is it Wade's World and you do Q&A, or
it's Wade's World is the Q&A?
Wade's World is the Q&A.
Yeah, we just you know what, as we've been doing install videos for so long, and then we just started goofing off on camera and started doing the Wade's World, and it's just a good way to get on camera and vent just a little bit. You know what I mean, and try to take the edge off of it just a little bit.
I love it, man. They've been really entertaining.
Absolutely. It's quality content again.
My favorite thing. So I'm watching one, I think like 2-3 weeks ago, and there's a guy who's asking questions about his truck, and like you answer it, and then you move on. You're talking about something else, and then he comes up and he's like, "Oh, I already checked that," and like starts to give more information. You're like, "Well, listen, guys, if you give me all the information up front, I'd be happy to answer all of your questions at one time." I'm like, oh my fucking god, I love this guy. I love this guy.
I love him. There's some of them that talking in Q&A. There's some of them that just, you answer a question for them, and if you hit it right the first time, they'll ask you 19 more questions about trucks that they've had in their past. They've already shit and gone out of their driveway, and you're like, "Oh, hey man, I had an 01 back in
back in Nam. I don't know what's wrong with it." Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I wonder what was wrong with that truck, but no, it's awesome. It really is, and Adam stays upstairs and kind of watches from afar on that, and he answers as Thoroughbred on the show, and he can get some of those guys kind of off my back just a little bit. He can start answering them too and go through. But it's good, man. It's good to have the interaction with people. I enjoy the Q&A. I've enjoyed Q&A. We've only been doing it, last couple of years, and gotten into a normal schedule of it now every Thursday. And I love Q&A. Q&A, and at shows and stuff, more people are coming up and thanking us for Q&A now than they are for the install videos. So
That's awesome.
so
we
crazy.
just trim it down to Q&A and be done with it.
Hell yeah. Very cool.
I love it. Well, tonight, guys, we are diving into a new budget build episode.
Yeah.
Now, in the past, we've always framed our budget builds to compete with between the brands. And there's a lot of fluctuation there, right? What we've seen is a Ford has never won because nobody's ever brought a Ford build here that I would
You
drive.
lied.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shibby
6.0. Shibby 6.0 took the first
6
one.
liter.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you're telling me, man.
I'm sorry. So you're right. So
all you Ford guys that are listening, if that's got you butthurt, call me, Thoroughbred, ask for me. I'll help you out.
I'll put the button on a little more.
Don't let these guys scare you, man. I can get you there. Give me a call.
But don't worry,
6 liter.
you
I
guys-
still don't
hey,
think
hold on.
Shibby
Wait,
6
you
liter
sell-
didn't win. Shibby won.
No, Shibby won. But you guys sell
Yeah.
bulletproof 6-liter kits, right? So you got them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got that.
I heard that hesitation. yeah.
We'll get them by another 20K.
Man, it's they say only a mechanic can work on a Ford, and there's no mechanics here. So you know what I mean. Fuel injection system is, gosh, dog, it's a struggle. But the guys that make big power on it, you've got to respect them.
Oh,
you know,
oh,
you
yeah,
really
absolutely.
do. I mean, they put a lot of money and damn sleepless nights.
Hey,
into
a
it,
lot of
sure.
fucking money.
Big shout out.
Yeah.
Charlie
Yeah.
Keeter holding it
Charlie
down.
Keeter, yeah.
6 liter
Hey,
life.
you want to
man.
get it? You want to get a 7.3 to 500 horsepower? You better bring your damn checkbook.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, what? There's like 4 of them in the country now, so
Really?
it's
That
totally
many?
normal. Yeah.
That Tim Pete that we had on the dyno here, Dyno Day, a couple of weeks ago, he told me he was spraying in unlimited, and he looked at me and he's like, "Wait, I'm just going to tell you after the progressive, when I hit this button," he said, "I'm going to try to hydrolock this son of a bitch." I was like, "All right, man,
Well,
let her happen." He did. I mean, he did. He blew the snot out of it.
What did it make?
I think it wound
9.
up making just a little over 7, didn't it?
Oh, not
Yeah.
well. I know
That's so wildly
Jaren's
unimpressive.
truck and his truck were fairly comparable in power, and they were in the 9s, I thought.
Yeah. I think
But-
Tim's the 7.3.
Okay, never mind.
Tim's the
Disregard.
7.3. Yeah.
All I know is when Jaron Holder, his truck was getting ready to go on the dyno, he was talking about the 3 different stages of nitrous he was going to spray at it, and he just wanted to break 1,000. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? 3 stages of
Yeah.
nitrous and only 1,000. But it's a different world. I know nothing about the 6-liter stuff, so I'm not
Yeah.
even going to pretend to.
Yeah, true
Oh
story.
yeah. Jaren's got the truck. I hated that his didn't make a big number because I
Right.
know it was in there. I think he had changed some stuff right before he came up.
Yep.
And that's the thing about Dyno Day, man. Everybody just goes balls to the wall right before Dyno Day and makes so many changes, and then they get on the dyno and a lot of it's not tested, at that time. So I wish everybody just leave their stuff alone and have it proven before they get here.
Yeah.
No, that's no fun. Come on, man. You got to have
Yeah,
shit
but you get the
right.
letdowns. You get the letdowns.
Yeah, there
We
is.
want to see big.
At it, boys, bring it.
I've gone to Judgment Day for 4 years. I want to see high horsepower shit.
Yeah, true story. True story.
right.
I hear you.
That's
All right, well, today we're changing it up. Let's
go into how we got into diesel. Let's start there.
All right. Do it, Chris.
Wait,
Let's hear it.
The first
Let's
thing,
hear it.
this is like, what would you say? This is the critical question to any guest. How did you get your start into diesel performance, Wade?
Man, I tell this story all the time. I really am. I'm blessed to have the job I've got. My background is in manufacturing technology, and I was doing a quality engineering internship for Honeywell. At the time it was Bendix, but it's Honeywell now. In TP5 valves, just high speed aluminum machines, some big truck stuff, and I'd bartended all the way through college as well, and a good friend of mine who's actually our sales manager, David Sidwell, offered me a job after school to take over a restaurant. So I went from manufacturing into restaurants. I was back of the house manager in a restaurant for a few years, and then I met Dennis Craig, who's our owner. I'd bought a 01 Duramax with a blown head gasket. And Dennis was gracious enough to help me fix it because at the time, this is 05, 06, not a lot of people had been into the LB7 motors to the extent that we needed to go into this truck. But I love this truck. This truck was 4-door, vinyl floorboard. I bought it with a blown head gasket. It was ZF6. This was my dream truck. I still got it today.
Wow.
But Dennis let me do the work up here, and they helped us with it. And after we were done, he offered me a job, and I accepted it. And it's all been great ever since, man. I literally get to talk about trucks all day long, and it's just it's a dream job.
Absolutely.
I thought, well, I'll take this job. I'll help him answer the phones, and if I get another engineering position that goes open, I'll go finish out my career. But this is where I'm gonna die, boys.
Damn.
But I've been around diesels my whole life. I've been around John Deere specifically my whole life. I've got my family owned one of my cousins owned a John Deere dealership in my hometown, and I farmed for quite a while too. So I've always been around mechanical injection too. So I guess diesels always been with me.
Very cool.
I dig it. It's crazy to hear how many guys were just such annoying and good customers that people hired them.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right, and that's Dennis for sure. He's like, man, I might as well just give this kid a job. So.
Fuck it, he ain't gonna leave the shop. He ain't gonna leave me alone. I might as well pay him to be here.
I remember, and I think I've told you this, Paul. I remember ordering EFI Live from Nick when I started truck pulling in 07, and he wasn't full on storefront everything. He was still kind of shaky. And I told him, I said, I need my V2 overnighted, and the whole thing. I mean, that just screwed him up. He was like, well, man, I don't know if I can get it out to get it overnighted to you today or something. I think he charged me something crazy. It was like $125 to overnight it, and just so it was awesome. It's been awesome.
I love it. Well, wait, we're gonna dive in here. So we're doing a VP 44 Cummins for both contestants this time.
Face off.
Yes.
So you and Chris have spent the last week now researching a truck.
4 days.
Yeah, sure.
Come on.
Researching for a truck, finding a truck that you could buy,
Right.
building that truck, speccing out that build, and coming up with a plan to make at least 500 horsepower, buy the truck, all the mods, $15,000. Now, this is imaginary money, but it's crazy how fucking real this is.
Yeah.
Because
It's
we talk to
damn
guys
real.
about this all the time.
Every day.
Yeah.
All the time. I have a couple criteria we just announced on the Facebook Live what we're going to be judging this on, what I will be judging this on. Number 1, drivability. Number 2, peak power. Number 3, complication of the build. Nobody wants to do a real complicated build, so simpler is better. And then completeness of the build. Like I gave the example in the Facebook Live. Did you forget to put a turbo on your build? That's a problem. Potential
Dog,
problems.
I've kicked your ass right here. I mean, I've literally kicked your brains in on this. This is going to be great. Just, Paul, there's no sense in us even doing this. Let's just wrap the show up.
Let's just wrap it up. Done. Wade's the winner. Have a good night. Thank you for listening.
I'm like,
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for WC Fab and Exergy and everybody, too. So.
yeah, I'm like Floyd Mayweather, just sitting in the corner, ready to come out of retirement. All right?
Oh, shit.
And that's the only thing you have in common with Floyd Mayweather. Two more things I'm a judge on today, guys. Potential problems. Did you put together something that's a giant piece of shit? Overall badassery. How much do I like it is really what that comes down to.
I bought an overall piece of shit. I'm going to shut up. Just go ahead.
Don't worry, I bought a piece of shit too.
You guys are buying old trucks. Yeah, they're all... Okay, so this time, usually what I do is I have each one of the contestants describe the truck and the build, but as I was listening to our previous episodes, it's just a lot of either one of you assholes talking. So I'm going to break it up a little bit. Wade, tell me just about the truck. Don't tell me any of the mods you're going to do. Describe the truck that you're buying.
All right. My truck is a piece of shit, Paul. It is literally a piece of shit. This thing does not even have a bed on it. It is a 99 model truck. They have done some sort of jacked up homemade bed on it. The guy wants $7,000 for the truck. Okay. All right. Yeah, she's a beaut. She's a beaut. I'm going to just give you a list of mods that are already on it because they are crucial to the overallness of my build.
I love it.
All right. It's got a new ECM and PCM on them because they all do, and a clutch. Doesn't tell me what kind of clutch, so I took that out of it. It's already got a Raptor 150 on it. It's
Sweet.
got a new voltage regulator because I'm sure he was chasing something he didn't know how to fix. Gauges, but the key to this is it's got a comp with the old big tune in it. She's got the hot unlock.
Big power.
So I've got my tuning, I've got my lift pump. All right, so go ahead.
He did buy a very expensive lift pump for that piece of shit.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, he didn't go bottom of the barrel when he bought his parts.
He did.
You should really see this thing. I sent Ehmke I sent him a link to it. She's really nice.
She's a Butte Clark.
She's really nice.
Yes.
I love it.
Is he showing you right now, Paul?
Yes, and this is going to be on our Facebook. So listeners, if you haven't jumped over onto the Diesel Performance Podcast Facebook page and take a look at this Butte that Wade has come up with, it's a gem mint one owner, we would call this right here.
That's exactly right. With the famous dashboard cover, because the top of that son of a bitch is cracked.
Yeah. Hey, I bought a lot of covers from Gino's Garage over the years. I just want to point that
Exactly
one
right.
out.
Yeah, shout out to Gino's. Not a sponsor of either one of us.
No, hey,
We both spent
they have
money with
sponsored a lot of second-gen dashes over the years.
them. That's right.
Awesome. Okay, how many miles are on this turd?
Oh shit! They never told us. Who cares? It's not even. It doesn't mean anything to me, Paul. Whatever,
Happy it's
bud.
got wheels. I get it.
I'd
Okay.
say she's probably got around anywhere between 250 to 450 on her.
That's your feeling. That's your gut. You're like, eh.
I'd say somewhere.
I
in
always
that
check
range.
her elbows to tell how old she is. But all right, Chris, tell me about the piece of shit you found.
So I ended up snagging a 1998 and a half 5-speed manual, 24-valve quad cab. It has the bed still on there, Wade. Okay.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
So it has 200.
Is it two-tone?
It is two-tone.
Of course.
It's white with
shit.
black on the bottom. I actually reached out to this guy, texted him a little bit. I wasn't about to pull a Danny Voss, go there, waste an hour of this guy's time. But $5,500 was asking price. I got him down over the phone to $4,750.
So you did call and
is
waste
that
his
allowed?
time.
Hell, is that allowed? I didn't know I could call him this guy down.
Yeah. So I'm just saying $4,750 was what I got him down to over the phone. When you go there, you easily have another $250 to go.
No.
But I'm gonna stick to what he agreed on. So
Bullshit.
$4,750. But it's a 5-speed, NV 4500 transmission. Brand new as of 9/3 of 17 is a starter, aftermarket one-piece headlights, 4-inch Silverline exhaust, intake, Edge Juice with Attitude programmer, fast DDRP fuel system, and then other components. He has Airlift 1000 bags, 4 shocks and struts were replaced. He says that the full front end was rebuilt about 4,000 miles ago. Front and rear brakes, aftermarket stereo, and he put in the bed liner because the whole bottom half of the truck is fucking bed lined. So
It's not two-tone, you asshole. He put bed liner across the bottom half
when
to
you
cover the
look at it,
rust.
it's two.
That's what that's saying.
It's
It's not
two-tone.
two-tone.
I mean, it is two. Hey, these guys are gonna see the pictures. This is fucking two-tone till I die. All right, like this two-tone. But
white with rhino line rock.
it's actually like the pictures.
That's exactly what it is,
But
Wade.
hey, in the pictures, the truck actually isn't that bad. Like, if I were to buy a vehicle to flip, this would actually be something I'd be interested in all honesty.
Unbelievable. Paul, he'll have that damn thing in the parking lot next week.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If I wasn't building my car, I probably would.
Car's a piece of shit. Okay, Wade, walk me through the build, man. What are you going to do to this amazing mint Gem 1 owner?
Okay. All
With only
right. First thing we've got to do is we've got to get the clutch situation shored up, because around here, boys, there's a disease known as single discery. These cats bomb these trucks and always try to get away with a single disc. So I know that's what's in this truck. It's what my gut's telling me. So the first thing we're going to have to do is going to have to do the 3250 street dual disc on it. I went street dual disc because I think that that's going to hold us up to about 650 horsepower. The kit for these trucks is going to come with the input shaft already, so that's got us at $1,552 in the clutch.
Nice. All right.
Did you want me to go all the way through it?
Yeah,
Paul?
man. Yeah, keep them coming.
Okay.
Keep them
All
coming.
right, cool. Then, shoring up the truck, we're just going to go ahead and do drop-in ARP studs. I was kind of running out of money on my build here, and I usually don't do this. I tell people not to do this, but I'm just going to throw a set of ARP 2000s in it. I'm going to do it drop-in. I'm going to go through, torque them down, take the truck out, run a heat cycle through it, bring it back and retorque them, and hope to God that it holds up for me. All right. now I'll say I've got plenty enough lift pump pressure. I'm good to go on that. I've got my tuning covered with the old hot big tune. I'm going to go 150 nozzles here. I'm going to use Lenny's nozzles. I'm going to do DDP 150 nozzles. I think with the turbo setup that I'm going to go with, I'm trying to build a truck that's not another one of these damn street sweeper running around in every small town across America with these son of a bitches with a stock turbo on it. I want this thing to be clean. I want it to, I want it ass down, nose up, and get going.
My favorite.
So I'm going to go with 150s just to get it enough to get on top of what I want to do with my turbos, and that brings us to that.
Plural.
I struggled with this. I know there's some more budget kits out there, but I wanted to use everything that we offer on our website and that we try to sell every day. I like Industrial's towing setup in this for this truck. You're looking at $45.50 for that towing. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to back up. You're $415 on our studs, $641.25 on the nozzles. The industrial towing setup is a 6275 twin kit, $4,550 on that. That'll bring my total on the build up to $14,158.25. That leaves us with enough money. If you really wanted to do it, you could probably pull the head off there and stick a head gasket in it real quick, maybe shave the head down and get it trued up. But guaranteed, you pull a 99 head off that this kid's had with all those stickers on that dash, I promise you there's enough cracks in that head you're going to have to replace that head. So we're going to leave the head on it. We're going to drop in on the studs, and then that's going to get us at easily 500 horsepower. I mean, our horsepower numbers should be somewhere in the 600 horsepower range, depending on the condition of the motor, but I think as far as fun to drive, this truck's going to be a lot of fun to drive.
I mean, you got twin turbos, big fuel, big tune.
400,000-mile VP44 pump.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then,
but we did this. We're doing this on a stock VP44,
right.
And not a hot rod VP44. I didn't have that kind of money in my build. Now, Cum Dog, he's jewed this guy down to buy the truck for $2,000. He's going to be able to put a monster pump on and everything, so there ain't no telling what he's going to hit you with.
First of all, wait, I sent you the picture of my old truck. So I went back to the VP fundamentals of me 6 years ago. So, I really looked into some of that. And,
so hold on. You think you were smart 6 years ago? Because I knew you 4 years ago, and I don't know if I would say that.
I'll tell you what, Nick's going to kill me to say this, but my white VP truck was probably one of the most fun trucks I had. Beat my Common Rail by far.
Thank you, everybody, for Chris Ehmke's last time hosting the Diesel Performance Podcast.
That dude, just Wade, back me up on this. Nothing pulls like a VP truck.
They
do. They make good torque.
They make great torque.
The way they slobber fuel into the cylinders, they got to make good torque.
That and my 5-speed manual truck, that was just a fun truck, man. It really was.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny. So you guys both ended up with manual trucks here, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you want to build power on a budget,
absolutely.
you got to do a manual.
We didn't have enough money to build all
I was going to say.
47.
Yeah, fuck, man. So, absolutely.
All right, Cum Dog, let's hear it. What do you got?
All right, so like I said, I went back to my roots, and I thought about what parts did I buy and who did I buy them from, right? So I bought the truck, and it had a lot of those components. I'm not taking a lot of what he said to heart. So the intake, the tuner, the lift pump, that's all coming off, and I haven't resold those parts for additional money.
Ooh.
I'm just pulling them off the truck.
We've seen that before,
right?
too.
I'm not doing that. I'm pulling them off the truck. I don't want them. I'm going with different components. So when I did my 01 truck, I actually went through Thoroughbred Diesel on a lot of my parts. I thought that they did a lot with the second-gen market, especially 5-6 years ago. When you thought VP44, Thoroughbred Diesel was the first thing that really popped up.
Sure.
So I went a little different route. So I actually printed off my shopping cart, Wade. You better not email me in a couple days. Are you ready to buy?
That's the robots that are going to do that.
Yeah, right.
Get you on their remarketing campaign.
So the first thing I did was you guys have a budget kit or a group package of a 24-month warranty VP44 pump for an automatic 5-speed truck with a fast 165-gallon-per-hour pump. That's going to cost me roughly $17.25 for the full package.
Nice.
Okay. From there, it's a 5-inch or it's a 5-speed manual truck. I want it to sound like a semi. So 5-inch straight pipe from Flow Pro, stainless. I've always loved them. I don't care.
How big of a tip are you going to put on?
Wasn't in the budget. But on my last truck, it was a 6-inch tip, asshole. So 5-inch straight piped exhaust. For a clutch, I did do the single clutch back in the day, Wade. So thanks for that. I learned my lesson. So I'm going to go with the Valair Quiet Street Clutch, $1,210, and then the upgraded input shaft for $275. Okay. So with the truck having 300,000 miles roughly, one of the criterias is a reliable truck, okay? Making every peak horsepower I could makes sense, but I need to make sure that the fundamentals are there. So I'm pulling the head off and I'm going to take the gamble. To have the head gone through and resurfaced and pressure checked, you're looking at about $400 to $500. That's what I paid the machine shop on my last two heads. So I'm going to go with, again, from Thoroughbred, a Molly head set. So that's the head gasket and everything on up for all of my top-end engine gasket components.
Okay.
I am going to do the rear main seal set since I'm doing the clutch. I've never seen a Cummins with high mileage that hasn't pissed oil out of the rear main, so I want to attack that while the clutch is out. I am also going to do the ARP 425 head studs, $415 per Thoroughbred Diesel. Okay. And then I am going to do an Edge comp box. So I'm going to buy a comp box. Again, I'm not using the Edge Evolution that I have. And I'm going to do a set of 103-pound valve springs from Hamilton Cams. My subtotal through Thoroughbred Diesel, and they offer free shipping, is $5,321.85.
Okay. And then what was the cost of the truck?
$4,750.
Wow, so you got a little budget here, huh?
I have money. I have some coin to play with.
Are you getting nervous, Wade?
No, hell no, man. Are you done? Is he done?
I am not done, because then...
Bo, he's done. He's going to put a juice with attitude on this damn thing until he's getting his 500 horsepower.
So then... There is one more part that I forgot to add, and I wanted to wait for this, okay? So you're going with twin turbos, badass. I'm already going to tell you're going to make more horsepower than me, okay? Because I'm going to go the different route. So the last part that I'm going to order from you, Wade, is a third-gen AFE ductile iron manifold, okay? And I'm going to retrofit one of our HE341 Stealth 64 that Calibrated Power offers, okay? From there, Wherli Custom Fab. Jason's already offered to help me out with the piping kit. So
that's what you fucking called him about today?
That's bullshit.
No. You fucking called. I know
this
you
is a drop in.
Them.
Hold on. So retail cost on this is $550, and he would be willing to do my intake and my intercooler pipe to adopt a third-gen location turbocharger into a second-gen truck, pretty much.
Okay.
So I could powder coat it any fancy color. I'll go with the white and black theme, top half white, bottom half black.
Is that an inventoried part there? Do they have a SKU number on there, or did you call and ask Jason if he could custom build you a part?
I asked him if he could build a part. It's not an inventoried part, so that it is not. Okay. But if you were to call Jason and you're willing to bring him the truck, $550, and he will do it.
Okay. He's going to fucking kill you when like 6 guys call him and want him to build this shit tomorrow.
Money's money, bro.
I promise you. They're sitting at home right now going, when am I going to call Wherli back? So, poor Jason. Hey, Jason, this is Wade, man. I want you to know this was not me, bub. This was not me.
So from there, I am going a different route with an injector. So in my VP days, I dealt with a company called Diesel Auto Power, and I did a set of SAC 7x11 injectors, which is about 175 to 200 horsepower injector. Something very comparable that we had to our VP tow rig at the shop.
Sure.
And then I am going to do custom MM3 tuning. So I'm doing the Edge comp box. That is something that we've done in-house where we use that to command full fuel for the pump, which, Wade, you and I have done a lot of back and forth on last year. And then I'm going to do MM3 tuning with an additional map sensor to help clean up some of the smoke. So a truck like this, I know dyno numbers, we were somewhere in the low 500s, 515, 525, somewhere in that ballpark, but a very low smoke output, good driver. Now, with all of the parts, the machine work, Thoroughbred's hefty subtotal that they had for me, I was at 9605.85.
Okay.
Plus the truck of 4750.
Right.
Which, I mean, I'm not the best with math, but it left me about $500 or $600 left over.
Okay.
So there's always going to be unforeseen gaskets, seals, something's going to come of it. But when I'm done with this truck, it should not piss or leak any oil. God forbid the motor's still in decent shape, right?
Right.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, I have all the gaskets gone through, new clutch, new injectors, a new injection pump, new lift pump, and I'm going off of the original seller for some of the front-end components.
Wade, tell me why Chris is wrong.
Oh my gosh, the 351 for sure. I mean, good.
341, 341, first of all, 341, mechanical gate,
Okay.
0304
Yeah.
truck, but okay.
I tell you something that wears me out with these trucks, and this is probably, this is bad for me to say, but with Thoroughbred falling into the niche of the VP44 sales in these trucks, and God bless the owners, because it's one of the biggest parts of our company. There's so many of these trucks that are out there on the road, and me and Cum Dog have talked about this quite a bit, that are just awful. And just terrible smoky. Most of the guys never take the 35 off the trucks. They're always in the, it's always on the stock turbos. So,
Right.
They don't use air. They don't clean it up. They throw 150 horsepower injectors in it and just leave the stock turbo on it, just EGTs for days. And kudos to you all on tuning in. And honestly, I never even thought about it. You could have totally stacked the MM3 on top of it and pulled some pump stretch out of it in the high load situations and cleaned it up. So that was good. Why is he wrong? I'll be honest with you, man. I don't know that he'll make it to 500.
This is a Stealth 64. This isn't just an HE351 or a 341. This is our Stealth 64 that we actually had on our
With the big
dually
guts.
with the 65 millimeter turbine or 66 millimeter turbine, 64 billet compressor wheel. So, I mean, in the common rail world, I made over 700 horse. In the VP world, we've already dynoed well over 500 horse.
Yeah, we know with the injectors that you chose, you're going to have plenty of fuel for sure.
I know. That's what I get to deal with Nick, to dial that shit back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He may get there, Paul. He may get there.
All right, Chris, tell me why Wade's was wrong.
Man, I'm not even going to downplay. He did exactly what he was supposed to. I wish I went with twins. I think I could have reconstructed my stuff a little bit better to do twin turbos. So the only thing I would say, if I had to nitpick anything, was he didn't address the VP pump, which he's VP world. VP Nation, VP44 Nation is Thoroughbred Diesel, and that would have been the first things I would have made sure he fixed.
So that's actually, so I have questions for both of you. So Wade, I mean, you ran out of budget here, and it is what it is, right? But
Yeah.
If you had more budget, what was that one other part you would do? Like, what is that one part you think, damn, if I just had a little bit more money, this is what I would have done?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would have never screwed around with the drop in on the studs, Paul. No way. I'd have pulled the head off of it, because I know the damn head's bad. They're all bad. They're all bad. They've all got spider cracks.
Oh yeah,
tiles, man. I pulled the head off of it, and I drew the head up, and just plan on having to put a $1,000 head on it for sure. Absolutely. And like he said, talking about pissing oil everywhere. One thing that neither one of us did, and we both should have done, is we both should have done the front cover. Yep. Wear sleeves on both sides. Wear sleeves on the both the seals, and then done the power steering pump. Resealed it up, which is fairly cheap.
Now, what I want a lot of listeners to take out of this is a horsepower build and a budget don't go hand in hand. Realistically, if you were to take a $15,000 budget with the purchase price of the truck, you really need $15,000 to $20,000 on top of the truck to really make a reliable, basically touch on every weak link that this truck would offer. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, and then that's
absolutely.
actually one of the reasons we pulled reliability out of our criteria, because just like you guys are saying, you cannot make a reliable truck for this price, for this power. Like, you can't put it all together. And you might get lucky, and, like, of course, everybody knows that one guy who's going to get on here and say, I did it. And that's great.
Yeah.
And we love you for doing it.
That's like taking a
but
common
it's not
rail.
normal.
That's like taking a 5.9 common rail guy. Oh, my buddy makes 1,200 horse. The bottom end's been together for 3 years. Yeah, that you're the exception. You're
Right.
not the main,
It's not the norm.
No, it's not.
Okay.
And that's like, I was talking to a guy on the phone the other day, and he was like, man, you guys did a towing budget build, and you did a couple other things. He was like, if I would have heard that, I would never have bought my LOI Duramax. And it's like, you have a good truck.
Yeah.
They all have their weak links, but don't listen, and the magazines, I hate to say it, but some of the magazines in the older years, when they do these builds and stuff like that, nothing's 100% polished. Okay,
Right.
There's always other things that you can address. It just, every vehicle works a little differently.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Chris, if you would have had, say, like $3,000 or $4,000 less, what would you have dropped off of the build?
taken off the build.
Yeah.
So if I had to pull money off the build, again, when I did my truck, I went through multiple head gaskets because I did it the wrong way the first 2 times. My head was messed up, and I never had it tested. It was warped. I mean, a bunch of issues. So I know the fundamentals of that, and I cannot replace that. Now, this truck specifically, again, isolated incident, and already had a lift pump. I already had some tuning on there, so I could have cut, some money there. But in a perfect world, if I had to cut things out of the equation, I would probably have to say I'd have to drop the power. I wouldn't have been able to hit 500 horse, and I would have pulled the injectors, and I would have pulled the turbocharger and manifold, and probably one of the tuning applications that I had in the mix out of the equation. Because everything else was going to make that truck more reliable to potentially go another 300,000 miles.
Gotcha. Okay, so you feel pretty confident in your build, Chris, about this is solid. This is something you would do, you would drive. I mean, it's pretty damn close to what you did.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I had the $400 or $500 on the side. I could have done the front cover and stuff like that, as Wade mentioned, and still been well off. The biggest thing I want to say here is a budget, high horsepower, reliability. It doesn't go hand in hand.
Yeah, pick any 2 of 3. Right?
I tell the guys, hey, you know what? If you don't have the budget to make this power, why don't you drop the power a little bit, save for another year, but build a solid foundation. And that's what I want guys to take out of this.
I hear you. Wade, how about you, man? Is this a build you would do?
Yeah, and it's a build that we've really done several times. It is, and I said the word street sweeper. It is. It's a put it out on the streets, and it's a good time. And I think with the twins, you get a little bit of reliability with it. The truck's going to get the EGTs under control, right, and just going to be fun to drive.
Absolutely.
If I had to pull money out of the build and I wanted it to go a different route, man, one of my absolute favorite truck setups in the VP44s is a 62 mil turbo or a smaller turbo, 58-62, just depending on what configuration you want to go with there, and a light set of injectors and light tuning, Smarty MM3, and just fun. That's a lot of fun drive. Just really responsive, really snappy. Not tons and tons of fuel there, so you're really not having to worry about casing another head. It's just there's a lot of fun to be had with those trucks. They get a bad name, but they're if you lighten up on the fuel on them just a little bit and lighten up on your horsepower expectations from them, they are a very reliable truck. They can be snappy, like Chris said at the first they're torquey as hell right out of the gate.
Yeah.
That was
it's a very torquey motor.
That was the thing I was losing out on when I went from my VP truck. Well, it ended up going to a P pump 12 valve. Long story, but when my 01 24 valve truck ran versus my common rail truck. My common rail truck made more power. That truck at the time was around 600 horse, and it made power. Don't get me wrong, that thing ran, but it didn't have that low throw you in your seat, lug, and just go like the VP trucks do. And I mean, even Nick made a couple comments when we did our live drive with our VP truck.
Yeah.
Rich, I know you edited that video. That thing, when it got into its power band, man, it was hold the fuck on. That thing that felt like no other 500 horse truck I'd ever been in. It was so much fun. And I think that's why I always, the 24 valves, they hold such a special place in my heart. And I've told you so many times, if I were to do another truck build, I would do another cab and a half short bed 24 valve VP truck, manual trans, and just run it.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, let's go through some scoring here. Drivability, I think that's going to go to Wade.
Okay.
On the twins and the spool up, and I haven't ever been in a VP truck with the 341 turbo. I don't know how that's going to feel, but I got this thing in my gut that just says twins have always been the best. I don't know why that would be different now.
Man, Wade, you sold the salesman. That's all I got to tell you.
That's a good job.
That's right.
Peak power goes to Wade. I mean, you agreed. You said he's going to make more power. I can't do anything about facts. Complication of build. Chris, you were ahead on this one, and then you went to Wherli for custom built parts. That's like being like, oh man, the best thing at the local restaurant is Fire and Ice. Our local restaurant is the buffalo chicken wrap. By the way, that's not on the menu. Of course, it's the best. You ordered off the fucking menu.
This is fucking biased.
That
is biased.
That doesn't. You killed it. I mean, just you did. I'm just letting you know. So 3 of the 6 right off the bat go to Wade. Completeness of build, Wade. Chris got you there, man. I mean, he went through the seals and the head and. He really, this is the one time I think I'll ever get to say this. He really woke the fuck up and showed up prepared today.
Awesome.
Which explains why he's been waving that stupid packet of paper in my face all day trying to get me to look at it.
Pretty much. I thought you were going to be more excited.
Pay attention
about
to me.
I thought the stealth you would have been more excited.
I was. No, I am. I am stoked about the stealth. Yeah, that's probably true too.
I screwed up when I didn't do the intake and the damn exhaust, which was stupid because I just assumed they were already on the truck.
It's a 5-speed.
Yeah.
You got to do a 5-inch, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right. That's a thing. Potential problems. Chris, you're going to take the win on this. Wade, I think you were right. Like you said, like the head's going to be an issue, the front cover's going to be an issue, rear main seal's going to be an issue. And like it's just, I think you're going to have more potential problems on your hand. Also, any truck you buy that has the bed off of it, you just assume there was some fuckery going on to lead to that. Like that's not a normal thing to have a truck sitting at your house that like you drive every day with no bed. It happens, but it's not normal. And I've driven a 4500 with a flatbed, like for a daily driver.
His nickname originally was P-Stroke Paul, and then I went to C4500 Paul
all the way around.
Time.
I had the C4500
okay,
first.
same thing. You had all these badass nicknames.
Right. That's what happens when you're a badass. Okay. Overall badassery. This is the winner, right? Like, so who wins this one wins it because you guys are 3-2 right now.
Or it would be a tie.
Well, overall badassery obviously counts for double. Okay, because it's badassery.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to say Wade because he got twin turbos.
I do have to say
but
Wade.
I got a 5-inch exhaust and my shit sounds badass.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. What I do like, what I do like about Chris's build is you got the MM3 and the Stealth 64. I know that's going to be a clean running truck, but he's got twins. He didn't. How much did the twins cost, Wade?
$4,550.
Man, I'll buy them for $1,400.
A little more expensive than buying the comp box, the MM3, and the Stealth, and the Manifold, and the intake setup. No, wait, it's probably pretty close in price.
Pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, well, hold on.
Right. That's we're right there. The twins are going to look cooler too. Chris, I got to say, this is the second time you've done a budget build episode. You showed up way more fucking prepared, but you lost this bitch. It goes to Wade. Wade takes it.
I told you, boys. I told you.
Cum Dog couldn't hang around with a Cummins build. Damn.
When he went, listen, hey. Now that all this is over, when he went off on that shit on WC about calling him to get the custom piping, I was like, oh shit, what in the hell just happened right here? I mean, gosh,
this is like Floyd woke up, man.
Floyd never woke up. I'm gonna build. You know what? As soon as my car's done, I'm building another truck just to spite this fucking bullshit. Just wait.
I guarantee you, the first thing Nick's going to say is, I can't believe you didn't put 12-valve rods in it. I can hear that coming right now, because every time he busts him on Facebook, it's always about 12-valve rods.
I love it. Wade, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to talk to us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all so much, man. We appreciate everything. We appreciate the friendship, and we appreciate the business relationship that we've got. I know we've been doing this for a long time.
Absolutely.
You said it.
Yep.
Well, guys, that's all from me today. I do want to say stick around to the last minute of the podcast so you can hear all of the funniest sentence that our producer Rich is going to pick out and drop there. Also, huge shout out to our sponsors, Exergy, WC Fab. Thank you to Wade and Thoroughbred and everybody else that's been involved with Calibrated Power and Duramax Tuner. We also just celebrated our 10-year anniversary over here at Duramax Tuner and Calibrated Power. Jump on our Facebook page, take a look at some of the pictures. We did a big 10-year anniversary event. It was a blast. Project X.
We did this.
That no, Project X is not about L5P tuning. No, stop asking that question.
But literally everyone in the organization planned a surprise for the owner, Nick Prignance, and he knew nothing about it until the night of.
Yeah.
We had some of the best business vendors that we've done, worked with for years there, and he didn't know anything about it until the night of.
It was great to surprise him. It was a lot of blast, just like this show has been. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Paul Wilson.
And this is Chris Ehmke.
Have a great night.
Calibrated Power Solutions, the leading North American developer of clean diesel power and home of DuramaxTuner.com, is the proud sponsor of the Diesel Performance Podcast. Calibrated Power develops emissions-equipped calibrations for a wide variety of diesel powertrains, including the Duramax, Cummins, Jeep, John Deere, and many more. For more information and the best customer service in the industry, check out calibratedpower.com or call 815-568-7920. That's 815-568-7920. If you'd like to contact the Diesel Performance Podcast, send us a message through Facebook or email paul@duramaxtuner.com or Chris at CEHMKE@duramaxtuner.com. You could also reach him by phone. Chris's extension is 2121, Paul's is 2122.
Okay, how many miles are on this turd?
Oh shit! They never told us. Who cares? It doesn't mean anything to me, Paul. Whatever,
Happy it's
but
got wheels. I get it.
I'd
Okay.
say she's probably got around anywhere between 250 to 450 on her.
That's your feeling? That's your gut? You're like, meh.
I'd say somewhere.
I
in
always
that
check
range.
her elbows to tell how old she is.